Time to start.
So I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roxanne, if you'll take roll. And if we'll please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has council had time to review the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please show a voting sign. Opposed, motion passes. Public comments. Persons wishing to address the council? Do I have any? Okay, then I'm not gonna read it. Moving on. Consent agenda. Other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please show a voting sign. Motion passes. Give me 1 second here to get caught up. Item A, public hearing. At this time, I will, Corey, you want to say anything for the public hearing?
No, you go to open the public hearing, and then we'll have some discussion on the items that we need to approve.
At this time, I will open the public hearing on the CBDG grant. Are there any public comments? Seeing no public comments, I will close the public hearing. And Corey and Jonathan and Becky, if you want to come up.
Mayor Wells and council, as part of the process of applying for the community development block grant, the public hearing was one of those requirements. Listed in your packet, there's roughly 4 items. A resolution 2020-14 assuring the Kansas Department of Commerce that funds will be continually provided for operation and maintenance of the grant funds, or for what we're purchasing with the grant funds. Resolution 2020-15 certifying legal authority for the mayor to sign the documents and submit them. And then the other one is to approve the applicant recipient disclosure update report, approve the statement of assurance and certifications, and then the residential anti-displacement relocation assistance. That's a standard form that's in CDBG. I'm not real sure that pertains to our case, but it is one of the things that we have to approve. Jonathan and Becky can weigh in. I broke the motions down into 3 motions. Motion 1 to approve resolution 2020-14, motion 2 for 2020-15, and then to approve the application and the other necessary documents. Any questions, concerns? You guys got any more comments? Anything to add?
No, was there determination of level of review for the environmental, basically, that by purchasing this, I sent it later in the email, but that's okay, I can send it over.
Well, we can include that in the motion
Right.
as the other associated documents for the mayor to sign.
Say that again, which item is lacking?
Determination of level of review is the environmental review record. And basically it's excluded from having a full environmental review
Not dealing with property.
done.
I think motion 3 will cover that as part of the way I worded that with the grant application and associated documents.
I will say progress on the grant is coming along nicely, and we just about finished up a rough draft, and so we're going to review that again and again, and then anticipate submitting that next week.
Great.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2020-14, ensuring funds will be provided annually for the operation and maintenance of the proposed fire truck.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve resolution 2020-14. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to approve 2020-15-15, certifying the mayor Wells as the authority to sign the necessary documents for the CDBG grant submission.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the CDBG grant application and associated documents and authorize the mayor to execute the necessary documents.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
If we don't have, did Roxanne have that document? Because I didn't catch it.
I have a bunch here of them.
Okay, if we don't have it, we'll run John Nugget's signature on that one.
Yeah, that works.
All right,
That's great.
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Item B, holidays.
I'm formed.
Mayor Wells and council, presented before you tonight is the 21 holiday schedule and council meeting dates. The county commission just passed the same holiday list last week. So we mirror image basically what the county did, just what we did last year. And as far as the council meeting dates with the holidays, the only one that would be affected would be Columbus Day next year. And then I'm assuming we wouldn't want to meet on the December 27th meeting right after Christmas. So I went ahead and marked that off on the calendar as well, so.
And that just needs to be changed in that motion from December 31st to 27th.
Am I missing the motion?
So
You
that,
had us canceling in December 31st.
so that's canceling the 27th meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was a typo on my part. Yeah, it should be the 27th.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the proposed holiday list for calendar year 2021. Approve revisions to the city council meeting on October 11th to the following Tuesday, and cancel the December 27th meeting.
Okay.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor, please show a voting sign. Opposed? Motion passes. Council and administrator reports. Steve?
More question for you, because I talked to him about it in the past. Did we come up with a resolution on the skate park chain door?
I've talked to Berkeley, I need to follow up with the insurance company and see if they're good with this. I think we can probably just open the gate completely, or unchain it where it opens fully.
And for you guys, for your benefit, we've got an individual that's got a special needs child that's in a apparatus to help him walk, and the apparatus is too large to get through the gate that we minimized how far it opens, and we minimized it because at one point the BMX bicycle riders were trying to go in there and compete with the skateboarders, and it was creating a problem. So you can get in there with your skateboard, but you can't get in there with a bicycle.
And somehow they still get in there with bicycles.
They still do. So by doing what we did, we've now limited access to special needs. So that was I called Corey and talked to him about it, to see if there was any reason why we can't open it back up. And I see La Harpe's building a BMX trail, and we've got the bike trail now with some different paths, and maybe that'll minimize the use down here for bicycles. So that's all I have.
Kim?
Nothing.
I do have some questions about the bathrooms down here at the parks. Have those been open this year?
We did not open these ones over here. We opened up on nightly that we had ball games.
Okay.
The concession stand went over by the ball fields.
Okay. So have those been open for like the football games and things like that?
No. Oh, our building?
Yes.
No, we haven't, because they've got their bathrooms in the facility itself.
No, I'm sorry, the games that are going on now.
Oh, the flag football?
Mhm.
They should be. I'll check with Jason.
I know
on that,
they've been locked in the past.
Right.
And we've had this,
And
there's been
normally-
kids that has had to go over the back of the fence
Right.
to go to the bathroom.
And normally we winterize them right before Halloween just to keep people out of them for vandalism purposes, because over the years of Halloween, it seemed like that's when they'd go inside and tear things up. But, yeah, I'll visit with Jason and make sure they're unlocking them through flag football.
Okay, that's fine. I know that they've had some new baseball leagues that have formed,
Yeah.
and they've been using pretty frequently, and now the porta potties have gone down here.
Right.
So, that's all that I have.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Go ahead.
When do you think you'll know if the community buildings will be able to use for Christmas festivities?
You know, that's something Berkeley and we've kind of been looking at on a monthly basis, Kim, and I guess I'm comfortable with opening. My fear is we can't stay under that 45, or can't really regulate the occupancy over that 45 person level that the governor's recommendation is. That's kind of what we've been basing on the rentals at the buildings being
This is
open.
like a family. I mean, I
Right.
don't think it'd be 45, but they're like, should I try to find somewhere else, or should I said I would ask you.
Well, that 45 person limit is for mass gatherings where they don't maintain social distancing and don't use masks.
Right, but it would be difficult not to social distance with anybody in 45 in this building.
This was the north community, this was the Silas Bass.
Right. And I mean, we can certainly open it up and make them, or have the rental people, maybe we can have Bob draft a statement that they get signed saying that they would adhere to.
So it's up to them, to their own responsibility to adhere
Yeah.
to state standards.
Yeah. I mean, that would, maybe we can have them sign a waiver of some sort.
It's a little bit different, you would think, if it's a family gathering that is normal.
It's just hard to,
Together.
it's hard for us to determine that. I mean, I know somebody can come in and tell us it's for a family reunion, but once we give them the keys, you know, it's hard for us to regulate. So I mean, I'm open to that. I can certainly talk with Bob and,
If they sign something, that's their response, I mean,
Right.
that's their
just don't want
hours,
us to
their,
be
yeah.
opened up to the fact that we potentially let that spread in town. That would be my biggest concern. And like I said, I can certainly visit with Bob and see if that's something that we can put together for letting those rentals out, especially going into November and December for the holidays, I suppose would be the best.
I would be okay with opening it up, just, I think that's a good
Sign
idea to have them
something.
sign a statement saying.
We may also look at only doing one per weekend,
That way-
just to get in there and clean it, and, because if you had one Friday and then you had one Saturday,
Right.
you wouldn't really be able to get in there and sanitize it in the way it probably needs to be.
So I should tentatively get with you.
Yeah, let's bring that up next week, or in 2 weeks, if that's okay.
Yeah, I can put it on the agenda. I can visit with Bob and see if he can't draft something between now and then, some quick verbiage for us to do with the rental agreement that we put out.
How would Berkeley be able to clean them? Could you clean or?
If we only rented them out once on a weekend for one function, say you either have Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, then it wouldn't be as big of an issue. I mean, normally our on-call person goes in and cleans those buildings after the events anyhow. But with the situation, I would say it'd probably be better if we have our crew and make sure that we're sanitizing properly rather than during on-call time. But yeah, we can certainly, I'll bring it back at the next meeting if that works for you guys.
Carl?
Nothing?
I've got a couple. Look forward this week, we will be sending out the city admin search. We have the videos back, and we have basically this will be second round. We have 8 candidates. I would like to ask that we have them in Friday, a week from Friday, so that would be Friday the 30th. We'll give Carla some time to.
Like we did before here.
Yes, and just rank them 1 through 8 on your preference. And we will try to go through from there. 2, the Historical Society annual meeting meets on Thursday at the college in the theater building. I would encourage you to show up. There is limited seating. They are social distancing, wearing masks. They do have a very interesting speaker, Steve Dodson, if you haven't heard him, is very much an expert on the Civil War, has been doing reenactments for years, and is going to talk about the Civil War history here in Allen County and the state. It should be very, very lively and very good. He has a lot of replicates and other items that are of interest. 3, just a friendly reminder on signs. The sign ordinance is there in place. Largely that mirrors the state rules. The city doesn't care who you put signs up for. I don't care. I encourage you to put signs up. But remember, there are some ordinances, and I think Corey has them,
Yes, sir.
on basically the size limits. That is to avoid obstructing views from the neighbors, the streets, all sorts of other niceties. And again, those basically mirror the state rules, if that's correct.
Right, generally the political signs that we're talking about, they can't be erected 45 days prior to the election. They can't exceed 6 square feet. They can't be illuminated. They can't be located in the right of way, and they got to be removed 7 days after the election. So if we have a situation that's too large or they're in the right of way, Greg goes out and really hand delivers that letter, because if we wait too long, they can be out there really. So he gives them 7 days to remove or make that come into compliance at that point. So
You say they're not allowed to be in the right of way?
Yeah, and
I thought
that's,
that provision was changed in the state statute.
knew we brought this up, was it last year that we had this, or the year before?
And we extended the days that we could have them out
Right,
to
and
match.
we modified it. I'd have to look at that.
Well, if there was a change, it would have been 5 or 6 years ago, so if it says that now, I guess.
I mean, that's what we've always followed, and when I say
That-
out of the right of way, typically it's not, they're never out of the right of way.
Because
A good
I-
rule of thumb is put them behind the sidewalk or,
It seemed like there was some change the state made so that they were allowed to use the right of way for campaign signs.
No, it says the city can jurisdict whether or not, where the signs are because of vision on streets. So it does have that clause in there, which is why we.
And I think the basic rule is don't impede it. Don't impede vision on the street and don't impede access to sidewalks, which is generally a pretty good rule, I think.
typically, our right of ways are so large in a lot of the old original town site, they would literally have to put them up against their house. So, I mean, our rule of thumb is keep them behind the sidewalk or roughly 10 foot behind the curb, and they're usually not an issue.
That's it for me. Cory?
Yes. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It didn't come in time to have it on this agenda. The cost of living adjustment did get released this morning. It's 1.3. I'll have that on your agenda to discuss what you guys want to do with that at the next meeting. US 54 highway report, I got a draft of that. Gosh, it's 300 and some pages. I haven't had time to really look through that. My hope is to have Burns and Mack here to present, to give that quick overview of that report at the next meeting. It could be the first meeting in November before that happens, just depends on the timing of myself and Dan going through the report and getting back with them if possible, if there's anything that needs to be tweaked and cleaned up in it. Mill and overlay project, I think I included in my weekly report. Dan and I worked on the bid specs on that and plan on trying to get that out probably towards the middle of November to give them plenty of time, those asphalt companies plenty of time to bid it and have them due back in January. And hopefully that will get us on the calendar, on those contractors' calendars early to get it done early in the year next year. I don't think it's going to be a problem because they've got a lot of work in the area. It seems like I think it's all going to run over into next summer, so it shouldn't be a problem with us getting our overlay job done next year. We did open City Hall back up, at least temporarily this week, for the public to come in with the drive-through being closed for Farm City Days. I don't know that we had a lot of traffic today. We've had some.
Had a lot of walk up in the
They're
drive.
still walking up to the drive-up window. I think the public seems to be pretty comfortable with the drive-up window, whether they're walking in or driving in, but we'll kind of reassess that after this week and see if it's gone well. We're requesting they put masks on when they come in City Hall. That's a tough thing to get people to do when they come in. The fire chief position, I think as of noon today when I visited with Carla, we have 5 or 6 applicants for that position. And I believe it runs through the end of this week at this point, and then we'll reevaluate and see where we go. Hopefully we'll get that narrowed down or have those out to the committee to look at here pretty quick, and then have interviews. The Civil War statute, I was going to have that on the next council meeting agenda, but Berkeley and I had a Zoom meeting with Dr. Spell and Eric Pry at Aurora, Illinois. And Eric's got to go through his procurement policy or procedures before they can actually commit to doing the work at Dr. Spell's foundry. So we've got probably 30 to 60 days, maybe even 90 before this thing really takes place. But it seems like things, once they get through that procurement policy, procedure, we should have a pretty good move on that. And I'll hopefully get some guidelines from Bob and have somewhat of an agreement between us and those people, what they're going to provide, what we can expect, And I did find out that they aren't gonna take him apart, they will leave him together. They do a little different process than what the foundry up in Topeka was telling Bertie tonight. And I had a local resident, a veteran, volunteer to take old Zachary up in an enclosed trailer. So, and he's got a motorhome, so he was gonna take it up there and volunteer his time. So, if the schedules all work out, I think we're gonna get the process all work out really well. So, we're just working out the details, and gosh, it's liable to be the first of the year before we bring it back to you at this point. We graduated one of our new police officers just last week. Elijah Farron is on the street. He went through a lot of his training before he went out. He's got a few more hours yet to work with some guys before we cut him completely loose. But the police department's fully staffed right now. One thing, I'm battling a little bit with the EPA and the company cleaning up the yards. They are running skid steers and dumping dirt on sidewalks and curbs all over town, and they're running skid steers on them. So I'm gonna have to do a little, have a discussion with the owner of the company, and may have to get EPA involved and try and see if we can't rectify how they're doing things, because we've had storm sewers plugged up because of the dirt being in the streets, and we've had broken storm sewer inlets because of it. And I know they're in a hurry, they want to get the job done, but you know, some of that infrastructure is old, and we want to protect it the best we can, and it's obviously not happening right now. So I'll work on that over the rest of this week. I think that's all. Roxanne, is there anything I'm missing? What's going on this week? So the next meeting, I have 2 or 3 things on it and moving forward.
One other reminder from City Days this weekend, if you're going out, please social distance, please keep your mask on. That's kind of what they're asking, particularly on the parade. We're unique that we're keeping this event going on. Let's show everyone in Kansas that you can do it safely.
They do have it seems like they have more vendors than they normally do. And the carnival's setting up right now on the square now, and looks like they're gonna have good weather for it. So I think we will have a pretty good crowd. They changed the parade route just a bit. Gonna expand it out to try and pull that crowd out a little farther, and hopefully it works.
Can I get a motion here? We don't have Gene, so.
That's a preacher.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Sorry. Motion made, seconded, all those in favor? Motion passes.
Remember I told you, one time they had a short meeting